This is going to be a quick video about TeamViewer, and it's going to be done from a selfish standpoint. Uh, I like to help people with their computers and get a lot of requests to do so. And in most cases, I spend as much time traveling to and from someone's home as I do fixing the problem. So I have, for many, many, many years, used a program called TeamViewer, and there are several programs of this type available. I've found this to be the best. So TeamViewer can do many things for you besides just the ability to allow someone to take over your computer and fix problems and show you how to do things. You can also access your computer remotely. You can hold meetings. There's a variety of things you can do with this program. I'm going to talk only about using it to fix someone's computer, and from my standpoint, being able to remotely take control of a computer, fix the problem, and get it done quickly and easily. So if you Google TeamViewer, you'll find them. Uh, and the reason that you want to find them is to fix problems remotely, allow someone to take temporary control of your computer. And you control how temporary that is. In the middle of a session, you can end it, and that person can't get back into your computer unless you allow it again. Uh, there is a lot of security, although uh, TeamViewer had a security breach. They were hacked, and some customer information indeed was taken. What we're going to talk about during this presentation would not have been affected by that particular security breach, because you don't really need to give them any information about yourself uh, in order to use it for what our purpose is. So in addition, you'll be able to hear the person on the other end. You can talk to each other. Usually these things are started on the telephone, so you can get the credentials to get into the computer. And then you can hang up the phones and use the internet for your verbal communication, or continue on the phone. I've done it both ways. You can see the other person, and you may or may not want to use that function. It functions a lot like Skype. It's a two-way video. If you care to, it can be one way, either way. Uh, Quality is good. When doing it this way, your chances of understanding the fix are much better, because as your computer is fixed, you can see what's being done to it. You can look at the screen and see what buttons are being clicked and where things are, and it just makes things easier to do. And best of all, this program is free for non-commercial use. For what we're going to do with it, it's free. So when you go to the TeamViewer homepage, and this is their homepage, and again, you can get it, just Google TeamViewer and you'll get here. And what they talk about here is remote support, which is what we're talking about, remote access, some of the other things you can do, online meetings. Uh, there are over 1 billion installations of TeamViewer. Obviously, they know when someone installs their program. So there have been over 1 billion installations, which is a lot of installations, even considering how many computers there are. And at any given moment, there are 20 million devices online using TeamViewer. That's a lot. That's a lot. So they're going to tell you when you say explore it, save time and money, and that's the one we're interested in. You can get support and assistance without somebody having to travel. You just exchange information computer to computer. Works very well. You can focus on your work and not getting it to work. I'll play on words there, and but yet so true. Secure and powerful. And secure in this case, obviously they had that hack, and you'll see a lot of things about TeamViewer, and it was hacked and blah blah blah. That does not affect what we're doing. You're not giving any information in order to get TeamViewer. so they can hack away. And although obviously they have put a much stronger firewall in place and security issues in place since then. But what we're talking about is security use. So even though someone is taking over your computer, you can see what they're doing. You can stop it at any moment, just click of a mouse. And it's the password you give them is only good for one session. So when you want help with your computer, you get in touch with the person, you give them your account number and a password, which is every time you open TeamViewer, you're given that information. That password is only good for one connection. Once that's over, the person would need a new password in order to get into your computer. So if you click on the download TeamViewer, you'll see that it's available for Windows, for Mac, for Linux, for Chrome operating systems, for Android phones, and for iOS phones. It also has a Windows phone, because I have one and it works on Windows Phone. I'm not sure why you'd want to put it on your phone, but don't call me if you've got a problem with your phone. That's not my area of expertise, if I'm expert at anything, actually. Anyways, they have it in all the various flavors, indeed. But we're talking about fixing your computer, whether it's a notebook or a desktop. And from their homepage, if you click on Download TeamViewer, it's going to take you to this page because they'll know you're calling from a Windows machine or whatever. And then it says Download TeamViewer, and it gives you the version. They're on version 11 currently. I started, it was on version 2, and that's been probably 10 years ago. So they've had some revisions a lot more recently, certainly to deal with Windows 10, which is a whole other subject. But we'll talk about that some other time. So if you push the download TeamViewer here, we're going to talk about how you install TeamViewer. Remember, it's free for personal use. So once you push that download button, it will download the exe, the execute file, which this is the current execute file. It is 10 meg, 10.5 meg roughly. It's interesting that you can't really see what the installed size of this thing is because it is proprietary software. It's kind of hidden. So it's not very big. It does take advantage of resources in your computer. So once you have downloaded this file, and depending on how your computer is set up, normally it would go into a download file folder someplace, which should be in your library downloads, and find this file, or you can do a search for this file if you need to. You can double click on the file, or you can right click on the file and choose open. Once you do that and it finishes unpacking itself, you're going to see this screen, and these are the defaults on it. Run only, which is a one-time use. That way it doesn't install anything at all. In most cases, you've got plenty of memory on your computer, so I would install it, but up to you. And make sure you save for personal use, because if you don't, they're going to want to charge you money. Personally, I think you should indeed change that to basic installation. Go ahead and install the program. That way, if you need it more than once, you won't have to go through this whole procedure again. It'll be right there for you. So up to you. You can do it either way. Again, my choice would be the basic installation. Okay, once it's finished with the install, you're going to see a window that looks like this, which tells you what TeamViewer is all about and points out the various places that you're going to need to use. Your ID will show up here. That never changes. You're assigned one ID, and there it is. That's assigned to that computer, actually, not you, but that computer. Down here, and they've got it blurred out because it does change every time. That's where the password is going to be. They're saying other things about what we're not going to talk about. If you're going to a meeting, you can go there. But if you're going to take control of a remote computer, you get the other person's ID and fill it in that space. And the program does remember any computer that you've visited. This also is something that we don't need to deal with right now. That's if you want to get into your computer remotely from anywhere in the world via the internet. You can do it with that portion of TeamViewer. But we are going to talk about that today. So this is the section that we're interested in. Again, here is your ID, the ID of the computer you're working on. And when we opened this session of TeamViewer up, it assigned a password of 3266. So, and that password is only good if you're online. And once you go offline, that password is no longer any good. But if you're going to take a control of someone's machine, you fill in their ID number, this number. So if I called you and you wanted help, you would give me that number. I would fill it in here and click on Connect to Partner. But like I say, it remembers all the machines that you have talked to. So once it's been done, you can find it again easily. So when we clicked on Connect to Partner, it brings up this window, and that's where that 4-digit password gets entered. Once it's entered, you click Log On. And this is what my computer looks like helping someone else. Now this would be the person that I'm helping. This is their screen. This is what they're looking at. And you can see on the periphery of this is my desktop. And my mouse controls their computer at this point. And you'll see that there's a little TeamViewer box down here, which can be closed, but it does have the functions where you can transfer files. More likely you'll be interested in the audio function, which is turned on from there. And both sides have to turn on their audio for it to work. And video is the same way. Both sides have to turn it on for it to work. If you decide to do it that way, it's kind of a close-up of what it's going to look like. And I pull this out, but anyhow, that's what the person you're helping is going to see. You probably need to put on shades or something to make that look acceptable anyhow. And this is what the person helping would see on your computer, which shows up there. And also had turned on the audio, which is this button up here, which I had done prior to the audio. Voice over IP is what you choose over your internet provider. So that's my brief explanation of installing TeamViewer for the purposes that we talked about today, which is helping someone fix problems on their computer. There is a YouTube video in addition to mine, which you can watch, which is perhaps a little more generalized on some of the other things you can do with it. And TeamViewer itself has their own YouTube channel, and they have literally dozens of videos on there covering all kinds of subjects. So you can go to YouTube, user TeamViewer, and you will find all kinds of things. I didn't find a really good installation video there. This is the best installation video that I was able to find. Anyhow, that is a brief explanation of how I would like all of the NEOPC members to use TeamViewer. If you can't get answers on our forum, or if you have problems understanding the answers or whatever, you can ask for TeamViewer help, and myself or perhaps some of the other people at NEOPC will contact you, and we can set up a TeamViewer session to get you up and running. So thanks for watching, and we'll be looking to help you soon.